Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. Welcome back to PM in the AM, a comedy podcast for listeners of all ages. The show that contains a kind of humor to make you laugh out loud no matter where you're listening. Each week we take a deep dive into some of the craziest topics found on the internet. We do debates, we find wild purchasable items and news stories, and this week we've got a heck of a show coming up for you guys. My name is Porter McNeely. I am joined as always by the wonderful, the excellent
Oh
Blake
man.
Bushman. And Blake, everybody wants to know the question that I ask you every week. How are things going?
I mean, I'm so much better after that incredible wakey eggs and I mean, you put some extra gusto on the wakey on that one. I mean, yeah, and it killed me because you went right into like the introduction, thing that we read every week. And I just had to sit there and think about what I just heard.
Well, I do have to say full transparency. So the software that we use to record the podcast, obviously we do it virtually from different locations. So it does like a countdown from 5 to let us know like what time the actual recording is going to start. And I started that woo at about like 3. So I had to wait 3 whole seconds plus couple more just to make sure it got into the actual recording. So I was very stretched out there at the end. Don't know how it's actually going to sound
Started
when we
losing your
publish the
breath a little
episode.
bit.
It's just going to be like, whoa, wakey, or something
I was gonna say
crazy.
because you did start it before the countdown finished, so to me it took forever. But post edit, it's really just gonna sound exactly how it always does. People are gonna be wondering what we're even talking about. So,
Yeah, Blake was
uh,
really looking at me like, why are you holding this for 8 seconds? The entire listenership is just going to tune out. But I mean, like I said, excited in the intro because I am genuinely pumped up for the show that we have today, Blake. We are going to be going over the listener submissions for the most embarrassing text messages that we got. Blake shared an excellent story last week about hitting up a friend's mom. So if you
that's
haven't
one way
listened
to
to
put
that
it. Yeah.
episode, you'll definitely want to go back and make sure you listen to that episode for some great laughs. And so that kind of inspired us. We thought, hey, maybe the people have some great stories as well. So we had to reach out and we got some excellent submissions coming up. And then we have the most useless things bracket. Blake, how are you feeling going into this bracket that we're going to be drafting today?
I'm so excited for this one. We do these brackets pretty often, and every time I feel like we get one that I feel like I can really run away with it and get some unique ideas down that the listeners won't appreciate, and they'll vote for you in the polls. That's fine. I'm over it. But I'm excited for this one because I think we're gonna have totally different lists, and I think that's gonna make it fun because it's gonna be just anything we could think of.
Yeah, this draft will definitely be unique. And I think, Blake, the problem is you have named a lot of things useless in the past that most people use in their everyday life. So I'm really excited to see where you go with this. I think this one could be absolutely hilarious in terms of the things that we're going to draft. So you'll definitely want to stay tuned for us to get into that. But like I said earlier, for the listener submitted question, we wanted to have you guys answer what are some embarrassing texts that you've got? And I am here trying to pull these up real quick.
Well, I'll jump in and save you then because I have a couple here that I took screenshots of, and I'm obviously so well prepared. So I'll start off with one.
Thank you. You saved me.
And these will all be anonymous, so we're not going to share any names. But thank you for sending them all in. This person said, "When I found out my wife was cheating on me, I hired a private investigator later that day. He asked me to text him a picture of her so he would know what she looks like. I accidentally texted her with the caption, 'This is her.'"
She's like,
And
yeah.
my thought process is that she thinks he's hiring a hitman because if
Oh,
let's say there is an affair going on, obviously he hired this investigator to try and figure it out. But if there is, she obviously is well aware. And my first guess is that she thinks that he's hiring a hitman to take her out. When you slide him the picture of, "Hey, this is your target." That's what I'd be thinking of.
that actually is wild because You're right. You have no context to why and who they're sending that to. Just this is her and it's a picture of her. She probably started being better behaved. It sounded like there was some promiscuity or some negative things going on. That probably shaped her up. I think that's all you would have to do in that
You
situation
don't even have to
because
hire the private investigator anymore.
no, no,
She'll
exactly. You
confess
just
all
have
of
to
her
pretend.
sins.
Even if she wasn't doing anything wrong, she was definitely,
Yeah.
more careful because she had no idea what was going on. That's
Yeah,
kind
that's a
of a
tough
funny
way to
thing.
explain yourself out of too. If you're the guy, you'd be like, "Oh no, I was showing my buddy at work. He wanted to know what my wife looked like." Like, it's such a hard way to get out of it. So
That's what I was trying to say
I
exactly.
I
It's
don't
like,
imagine these people's marriage ended well. But I guess that's one way to go out. So
yeah, but at least he investigated and he could figure out what was going on. So props to him for that. All right, that was a really good one to start off with. Here is the first one that I have. So it says, a guy at work texted and asked me out. I screenshotted it and just said ew to send to a friend, but I accidentally sent it to him.
oh, that's
Oh,
brutal. That's
that's
rough.
an absolute heartbreaker, Blake. That is terrible. And I can't even imagine, how would you react? This is at work, so you're going to have to see that person again. That person's probably going to go hire a hitman because of what you just did to his self esteem. Not just like anything, but also you. Man, that guy
Yeah, the ew is
probably never
rough.
had the confidence.
That's a brutal blow right there when you hit him with the ew, because it's not even like, hey, how do I deny him? Because
Mhm.
that would be one thing. Like, okay, they don't want to go, but they're trying to be nice about it. They don't want to ruin the relationship that you already have. But just ew, that's rough, because that means that they've had conversations about you specifically in the past and how you are gross as a person. So that's a
That
bummer.
hurts. Yeah. And that means everybody at the office is thinking the same way. So hopefully this guy can get his confidence back. We're rooting for you. There's somebody out there that thinks you're the opposite of you. I don't know what that would be. Maybe yum.
You'll find your yum. That's the
The lesson
theme of
here.
this podcast. Yeah, find your yum. All right, you deserve somebody who.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay, I got one here, and this one is a bit sad. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think I think I would hire a hitman for myself if I did this.
Yikes.
And they said, I sent "Say hi to your mom for me." It was supposed to go to my wife, who was having lunch with her mom, but instead I sent it to my friend whose mom had died 2 days prior. Two
Um,
days.
I'm like holding back the laughter in somberness. And that's awful.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
kind of speechless after that one. I
yeah,
can't believe
I
that
mean, once
happened.
again, I guess the friend could have thought you were hiring a hitman for them, because it's like that's like a brutal threat.
Say hi to your mom for me. You're like, oh, I'm on my way. No, that's horrible. All the texts that person has been receiving for the last couple of days have been like, really sorry for your loss. We love you. If you need anything, let us know. We'd love to help out with whatever we can. We're praying for you in this hard time. And then you've got the nerve to accidentally pipe in and say, say hi to your mom for me.
Say
Hope
hi to
she's
your
doing
mom for me.
okay. As he's literally
Oh,
picking out the headstone for his mother. Man,
yeah,
that's tragic.
that is
That's a
a rough go.
I think some of these have made me like not want to have a phone. That one's like, just grab your phone, chuck it into the nearest river, and move on with your life.
You
You've got to
float
get a new
yourself down the
phone
river
number.
too. I mean, you don't want to even.
You
You
got,
can't
yeah,
talk
you're
to that
right.
person again. They're not your friend
You
anymore. After you
you
just.
st- you start over somewhere new. You move towns, and you become a completely new identity after that one. That's awful.
Yeah.
All right,
So.
this one is, I mean, kind of more on the weird side, not such on the sad side. So I'm happy to share this one. It says, I once sent "I love you. I can't wait to be married to you" to my professor. It was intended for my fiance. This was the second week of class. He took it rather well.
I was gonna say, did they pass? Because if they passed and it worked, I'm gonna do this for every professor I have
Uh,
from here on out.
yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think we should do it as a case study. Have Blake text all the professors that he wants to
Yeah,
marry them,
half of my
and
professors I'll text that, half of them I won't. We'll see which ones I pass.
I don't know how excited your professors would be in that situation, but that would be for me. Every class you had to attend after that, I don't think I would be able to go. I think I would be so uncomfortable, so embarrassed knowing that I had done that. I just
You
don't
just
think.
gotta
I think I dropped the class. You dropped
you
the
just gotta
class.
fully embrace it at that point. Just every time you leave class, shout "Love you" on your way out. You just you
Count
just
down the
really,
days to be yours,
yeah,
baby.
yeah, really go for it, and hope for the best. And
Oh no.
maybe by the end of it, you're in a loving relationship, or maybe you have a passing grade. So I either way, I see it as a win.
No chance. That's an L for sure.
All right, I got one here. This one says, "Somehow I'm on my way," translated to "I want your baby," which I almost sent to someone I was dating. Fortunately, I caught it before it sent.
That would have been amazing.
Those are two dramatically different. I don't know how it even gets from I'm on my way to "I want your baby." Like I feel like the
Wait, don't
autocorrect
you
on that just was like, really trying to be a wingman or something. Like,
imagine they ended up getting married and had like 8 kids because of this text or something? But isn't autocorrect like adaptive? Doesn't it come from, like what you're sending? Am I
I
wrong on that?
I think what it does is it will use the word that you used before it, and then
Oh.
like the most common used word after that, like it will, that's like the autofill, is it will jump to the most commonly used word after that. So you can start by putting in like "I" and then just autofill and see what your phone does, and most of the time it won't make sense. But apparently this person, after the word "your" was "baby" is was their most common. So
No, that's terrible
that's, yeah,
circumstances.
that's a rough go. Luckily, they didn't send it because that would have been a rough
Yeah.
explanation. But good for them for catching it, I guess.
Yeah, that would have been a tough one to explain. So you're right. That one's a lucky one. Did not press send. That could have been terrible, especially because they were like right about to see that person too. So,
Yeah, you show up.
I mean,
You didn't even notice it, and that you sent it to you. You just thought you just sent "I'm on my way." You show up, and they're like, "Hey, what's up?"
I've been waiting for you all day.
You're like,
What's
"Weirdo,
what's
we
going
going to
on?
dinner or not?" Like,
Yeah, you got to be careful with the messages you're sending. That's wild. Well, let's do. I'm gonna do one more. Let's wrap it up on a
yeah.
nice wholesome one I found. I thought this one was
Oh,
pretty cool.
good.
So it says, I was texting my girlfriend while going to meet up with some buddies, and I accidentally sent them the text saying, "Love you. Talk to you later." They appreciated it by letting me know that they loved me too.
Oh, that is nice. Yeah, whenever your bros say they love you, you might want to get them checked because something's probably wrong.
That's what I
But,
was gonna say. It's like this guy
but
needs to know that they're not actually his friends if they said that. If they were actually
yeah,
real friends,
you'd
he would
get
have been heckled
flamed. Yeah,
so hard. Yeah.
you and I are in a group chat together. We got the boys group chat. If one of us sent that just out of nowhere, I would either, I mean, first of all, I'd probably roast you just because that's a weird thing to send. But then I'd be like, do I need to call the police and send him to his house? Like, what's about, like, why is he saying this?
I was thinking, right when you said that, I was like, as a case study, I want you to do that after the podcast, but not just to the close boys group chat that we have. I want you to do it to the fantasy football group chat, which is extended to
Ooh.
friends and people that we've only met once or people that we haven't even met before. I think that would be much better.
I
Maybe
just randomly
maybe
said
that
in the
should be
middle
the
of the off
punishment
season.
for. Oh yeah. I'm saying maybe that should be the punishment for this bracket, but I think I would almost be too embarrassed to do it. So I mean, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how this
Yeah,
next draft is going to go, but
let's
that
get
would
into this
be that'd be
bracket and
pretty
find
funny.
out.
All right, so we're going to take a brief break. We will be right back to draft the most useless things. So don't go anywhere.
With warmer temperatures approaching, there is no better way to cool off than with some authentic Brazilian acai from Barraca Acai. I lived in Brazil for 2 years and I fell in love with acai, but when I came back to the US, I was pretty disappointed with the quality of the options here. That is until I found Barraca Acai, which tastes exactly like what they serve in Brazil, because that's exactly what it is. Imported from Brazil and delivered to your doorstep, it is the best treat for summer months. Whether you want it as a healthier alternative to ice cream or covered in sweetened condensed milk like I do, acai is a superfood that is super delicious. If you're interested, visit their Instagram at Bahaka Acai. That's BAHAKAACAI. And send them a DM and let them know that PM in the AM sent you.
And we are back. We've got another exciting morning drive debate for you. The segment where we create brackets and draft teams of absolutely hilarious topics. I haven't been as excited for one as I am for this one in a while because sometimes we're just, I'm just driving around. Sometimes I'm just thinking and I just come upon things that I think are absolutely useless. So I have assembled quite the team, Blake, and I am very excited about this draft.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. I don't like I mentioned before. I don't think we're gonna have a lot of the same ones. If we do, I need to panic because I don't have enough to go all the way through. But you have the first pick, so I guess I'll find out pretty quick on how this is gonna go.
All right. So I think all of these things are almost equally as useless. So it's pretty difficult, honestly, coming up with this list. And I'll make sure I have something to write down these selections. But I think number one, I'm gonna have to take. Oh, I don't know. I'm going back and forth here on a couple of things. I don't know if there's a clear number one pick here or if they're all just kind of, kind of in the same category. But number one overall, I am going to take male nipples.
That I mean, they don't have a lot of purpose.
I mean,
I'm
talk
no
about
doctor,
useless.
but I'm no doctor, but I think that among all the nipples, they are the most useless ones. So
I don't think they serve a purpose at all. So, kind of as I was thinking about this bracket, doing a little research and stuff, I was like, yeah, that's got to be the number one pick, right?
I mean, it's got to be up there for sure. The I think our lactation is pretty limited, so kudos to you for for that one. I'm going to go a different direction here, and I'm going to take decorative towels.
Okay.
I just they're useless. Okay, sure they might look nice. They look the same as any other towel, but then I get in trouble if I use them. So to me, to have something that sits there serves a purpose, but I can't use it for that purpose, that's
hmm
useless.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. They go on the oven, and so you
Hmm.
make a mess on the stove and you're going to go wipe it off, but instead it says like, welcome to summer or,
I
you
use it
know.
anyways. I don't care. I wipe my hands all over that. I do
Oh,
extra.
yeah.
I make my hands dirty just so I can wipe them on the decorative towels.
Just because you hate the look of one, you're like,
I
oh,
can't stand them. Yeah.
it just got horribly stained with spaghetti sauce, and it looks like you threw the can on it. Well, it was a disaster.
Accidents happen. It's tough.
We're gonna have to throw this towel away, unfortunately. No, that's definitely useless and also kind of annoying. So good pick there. All right, coming back to me now. I've got a big list. Like you said, you only had a few. You didn't know if you were going to be able to make it all the way through if I take one of yours. I don't think I'm going to take one of yours, but my list is huge. So this is really hard for me to try and narrow it
Okay.
down. But the number three pick, and I could be going out on a limb here because I bet I could pick this a lot lower, but I am going to take the Golden Corral drive-through.
I didn't even know they had a drive-through. They have a drive-through?
They do at the location that's nearest to my house. As I was driving past it, I saw that they had a drive-through, and I thought to myself, why would you ever go through that? Because there's only one reason you're going to go to Golden Corral, right?
Yeah, you're 85 up and you don't want to cook. Yeah, that's
And also, you're trying to eat as much food as humanly possible. I
Yeah,
mean, that's the only reason.
I'm blown away by the fact that they have a drive-through. I'm trying to figure I want to go through it just so I can see how it works. Is it just like one really long window and then they have all the food lined up on the side and you drive by pointing at what you want and then by the end they just hand you a massive tray full of the food.
I think that's much better than what it actually is. If it was like that, it would not be useless because you could just load up on, a ton of crappy tasting food. But I don't think it's that. I think you just have to kind of know what you want as you're ordering at the window. And so
Mhm.
that's why I was like, this is absolutely useless. Why would you go to a buffet and go through the drive through? Or why would you ever order takeout from a buffet? The
Yeah,
only reason you go there is to absolutely fill yourself up until you can't move.
my next guess was that they put in like the little tickets like you get when you go to a national park, and then you put that in your window, and then you can just drive through as many times as you want.
It's like a daily pass. So all day,
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
next 4 hours, you just go park, eat, drive back around.
yeah, exactly. That's, I mean, to me, this seems like a great business opportunity for Golden Corral because
Gosh,
I think they'd get a lot more use out of their drive-through because nobody
you're
wants to be.
ruining my pick.
Well, no, I'm helping you because that's not what it is. If it was that, it wouldn't be useless. So,
Yeah, fair, fair.
excellent choice on that because I didn't even know that existed, and that's extraordinarily useless. Um, my next one, I'm gonna go with the highest setting on a toaster. Like,
Well, it's charcoal if you turn it
no,
up that high.
my toaster I have, it goes from 0 to 10. If you put it above a 3.5, it is no longer toast. It is charcoal. Like, I can't understand who in their right mind would ever crank that thing up to 10. What are you toasting that needs
Your
that amount
house.
of heat? Like, yeah, that's when you want to do it in the old bathtub special. Like, there's
Oh
no
my god.
other reason to be having a toaster with that many options. And then also just give me levels like of toastiness and not numbers, okay? Because everyone is different. If it moves, I have to burn 3 pieces of bread before I get it just right again. So
Yeah,
that's my
I
toaster
agree.
rant.
If you turn it up to 10, you're asking for a home fire. You better have a fire extinguisher on hand because, I mean, I'm convinced if you put any sort of bread in there and turn it up to like 4 minutes, like you said, it's over. It's going to be black dust in the bottom.
Yeah.
So that's
That must be
crazy.
like the cleaning setting. Like you put it up at 10 when you need to like just burn everything out of there. You got to put it
No, because,
outside for that, but you don't want to burn your house down.
no, have you ever like tipped upside down your toaster?
Oh, I mean, I don't ever want to have to do that.
It's
That's
like the most disgusting thing. It's like entire pieces of bread come out as just
yeah.
dust. So
That's what I
if you
imagine. Like the little chimney sweeps that they had a long time ago in England.
in
When
Mary
those kids
Poppins,
got yeah, and Mary Poppins. When those kids got home, I imagined that that's like the amount of bread crumbs that they would be leaving behind. Is you dump out a toaster and have a chimney sweeper in your living room? It's the exact same amount of dirt.
yeah, it's disgusting. So very good pick there. As suspected, I hadn't even thought of that. It wasn't even on my horizon, but that was really good. So moving along here, man, I have quite the list, as I have previously stated, and I am having a hard time narrowing it down. But I think with the number 5 overall pick, I am going to take the piracy warning that is given out at the beginning of every movie. When it says, if you're caught pirating this movie, you're going to have to pay $8 million and you're going to have your head cut off. Like, the consequences just seem way too
Yeah.
steep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not allowed to admit certain things on the internet, so I can't get too much into this. But yeah, that has proven to be pretty useless. My favorite, like, they don't do it anymore, but the whole "you wouldn't download a TV," like,
Yeah, those commercials were wild, dude. I remember like a dark movie store commercial that was about piracy, and some guy was like putting all the DVDs
yeah,
into his jacket, and he just walked out of there with like 100 DVDs. It's like, you wouldn't do this, so why is piracy okay? Or
yeah.
like they're suing school teachers because they're
It's
trying to
not a
show a
victimless
Disney movie in the
crime.
school. Yeah, it's like, come on, man, you already made $80 billion off that, but I feel like it's kind of useless because it probably just inspired more people that didn't know what piracy was.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
went over to Google and they figured it out. And then they're like,
and they were
oh, you
like,
mean I
I
can
can
have
be
every
getting all
DVD?
this for free? You gotta be kidding me.
Exactly.
Thanks. Thanks, piracy ad. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow up your piracy ad with the terms and conditions checkbox. Or just the terms and
Oh,
conditions in general.
that's good. That's good.
Ain't nobody reading all that. Okay. Not once in my life have I sat down and read an entire terms and conditions. I scroll down until I can find the checkbox and I press I accept. I've sold my soul probably 14 times on the minimum because like they could be throwing whatever they want in there and I'm not reading it.
Yeah,
So
that's true, man. Like, for the smallest thing, you're telling me I have to read at least like 30 pages. Nobody has time for that. What really needs to get invented is something that can go through and just look for absurdities within that terms and condition. Other than that, it's just like everything else was just normal legal jargon. But
I
you know,
bet
they
AI
also
could do
did,
that.
yeah, probably. I mean,
I bet
there's
if I
a
put in, but again, I'm not taking the time to do it. I need like a built-in, like a Google Chrome extension
that's what I
AI
was
to
saying. That's
scan it. That's
yeah,
brilliant, actually.
exactly. That's actually an amazing idea.
Hey,
Maybe
that's
we're not going to publish this
trademarked,
episode.
copyrighted.
Yeah.
We can't. Yeah, we can't.
If you do end up doing this, all we want is 99% royalty.
Yeah,
You can keep the 1%, feed your family, and live
yeah.
a
I
good
just want to
life.
retire for like. I don't want to have to work anymore. So
I don't want to
just
build this thing. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, besides coming up with a brilliant idea, I do think that is great because, yeah, like we said, nobody's got time for that. It's absolutely useless. All right. Moving on. This will be my last pick, unfortunately.
this is the last one. Make it count.
Uh, and I'm kind of between two here, and I assume you're not going to take one if I walk you through which two I'm between.
I mean, if you
Maybe
want to
you
risk,
would. They're pretty good, actually.
I will say this: as long as you don't take mine, I already know what I'm gonna take.
Okay.
As long as you don't say what I'm going to take,
All
then
right.
you can feel free to walk yourself through
We might have to do a part two of this draft because there are so many useless things.
it.
So I am going to take with the seventh overall pick, my last pick, I am going to take camo golf balls. Because has there ever been a more stupid invention than, I'm not a
I
fairway
can't
guy.
even
I'm
find
hitting
the
it off the
neon
side.
ones.
Yeah.
Like it'd be. They need to make like just the most reflect. I need a mirrored golf ball so that it just shines me in the eye, so I can know when after I shank it about 45 yards to the left, I can go and
Mhm.
find it.
I need the ones with Top Golf technology so it can tell me exactly
Ooh.
what other fairway or what roadway it has landed on. Because, yeah, I'm not very accurate. Camo golf ball is, I mean, if you could play the entire 18 holes with a camouflage golf ball, you would have to be a pretty impressive golfer because that means you're going center cut. You're still going to walk up to your ball and you're going to have to pull out your binoculars. You're going to have to search the area, but maybe you'll be able to find it if you hit it like within the fairway and you kind of know the direction. Other than that, good luck.
That's got
Stupid
to be like
invention.
a. That's got to be one of those challenges that some YouTuber somewhere has done, like impossible golf challenge, and it's
Can I
just him
golf?
playing golf with a camouflage ball.
I mean, if you want to up it even more, put on a ghillie suit, go golfing with just a camo ball in your ghillie suit, and you're just out there, bang, having a good time.
Yeah,
You're
you don't
probably gonna
have
have
to
to
pay at
bring.
that point. Nobody's gonna even know you're there.
Nobody even knows you're there. That's how, dude. We are coming up with life hacks, not just
Man,
useless things on
this
this one.
is
Holy cow!
this is the most useful useless draft. Like this is.
Honestly,
All right, my last one. I have a couple here that I really like, but I'm gonna take the S in island. It's it's dumb. All right.
I did not see it going that way. That's hilarious though, because we're like useless for whatever was kind of the
Yeah,
draft criteria, and I mean, absolutely
yeah.
useless.
I went through all the words that had silent letters, and that's what I landed on. I almost went with pterodactyl with the P,
Hmm.
but island. It's such a simple word that the S is there, and it just really bothers me. So uh, I'm gonna say that's a. I'm happy to round out my draft with a nice S in island.
Oh, that's great. I better write the S down in island so I don't just post island and you get absolutely destroyed by male nipples in the first round. But I'm kind of thinking I should save my honorable mentions. I think we may eventually come back to a part two of this because I just think there are so many useless things that are hilarious.
Okay. I will say
Um,
one just because I don't
okay.
think I'll take it because
Mhm.
it is just fresh on my mind. And that's the Gala, whatever.
Yeah.
I still don't know what that is. It just seems like celebrities just kind of like go and hang out and they take pictures. And it drives me crazy because it's everywhere on my feed. And I'm like, I don't even know who these people are. So that's pretty useless. I
Do
just
you
wanted to give that an
think I
honorable
got to get your
mention.
opinion on this? No, that's good. That's a good topic. Do you think what they wear is fashion or
Oh,
stupidity?
I mean it's awful. it's,
Thank you.
it's it's horrendous, and like they make a huge deal out of it every time. It's like, wow, so and so showed up wearing a lasagna dress, and I'm like that.
Hmm?
Like half the time they look like a cheesy alien movie. Like you take a cheesy sci-fi movie, that's what the aliens look like. That's what they're wearing. So
Exactly.
I don't know why. Like nobody's walking around the street wearing that. why don't you just? If I were a celebrity, I'd show up wearing sweatpants. Like I'd get like a matching nice like sweater and sweatpants, and I'd just roll up in that because ain't no way I'm wearing a tinfoil suit or whatever. I don't even know what they wear.
Yeah, it's wild, dude. Why would you bedazzle your body? And I don't even understand it. It's because, I mean, generally, if you just showed up somewhere just with like bedazzled body, no clothes on, I feel like you should get arrested, not celebrated. And because it's a celebrity, we're like, man, we're gonna celebrate this whack
if
job.
you
Yeah, that.
if you wore some of the things that they wear to the Met Gala just around, you'd end up in a home. Like they're like, this
Yeah.
person's obviously not well. We need to get rid of him, and so they'd take you and put you in an asylum somewhere.
What I think they need to do with the Met Gala is only allow them to like wear old Navy clothes, clothes from Kohl's, wear what the common folk are wearing instead of trying to wear these
Yeah.
extravagant, crazy things. We need a nice, family and some matching old Navy blue jeans. They got a nice blue and white
Or at
striped
least wear
shirt.
something that looks good, I don't even
Yeah,
care if
that's
it's
fair.
regular clothes. Like you can wear whatever you want, but it just looks awful. Like I don't know if this is even the same thing, but I know that there's the picture somewhere of some woman and she's wearing like a morph suit, head to toe, just all black. Like her ponytail is sticking out the back. It's like a dress where her face is all covered. It just is the weirdest thing. Like
Yeah, it's not
that's
even fashion.
so yeah, I had
Did you
that
see
slash celebrities in general as my honorable
fair?
mention. So
Did you see Jared Leto in the cat suit? I've got to ask you.
I no, I don't even know what
He
you're
was
talking
wearing just
about.
a giant plush cat suit, so you got to go check that one out at least to know. It just validates our argument about this even more. But yeah, definitely some good useless things we touched on today, Blake. Got anything else for the listeners today on the way out?
No, I think that's it. I think we're definitely gonna have to do a part two. So let us know if you liked
Mhm.
this, if you think it's worth doing too, because I can definitely come up with more. I know Porter's got a whole bunch more, so
Oof,
might be something worth
I'm
revisiting
locked
for
and
sure.
loaded. Absolutely. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you guys next week.
Peace out.
Congrats on making it all the way to the end. We hope you enjoyed the show. You are now officially part of the PM and the AM fan base, the morning people, and we are super pumped to have you here. Now that you're a part of the crew, please share the episode with a friend, and make sure to check out the rest of our shows and social media content for more hilarious brackets, crazy questions, and an overall great time. Thanks for listening. It truly means a lot to us, and we'll catch you guys next week.